Hey everyone, welcome to Comic Yahud, your place for classic comic stories. Today's episode, Tintin and the Broken Ear, last chapter. Let's dive in. Entering the shop, Tintin marvels at the find, reflecting on the thousands of miles traveled in pursuit of this elusive artifact. Snowy trots alongside, sharing in the triumph of uncovering a piece of their long journey. As Tintin walks down the street, he ponders the price he paid for the artifact and realizes he forgot to ask about its origins. Snowy prances beside him, unaware of Tintin's growing curiosity. Suddenly, Tintin stops in his tracks, eyes wide as he spots a shop window displaying two statues similar to the one he just purchased. Snowy looks up at him, sensing his shock and confusion. Kneeling to inspect more closely, Tintin notices both statues have the same peculiar damage, a broken ear. His disbelief turns to fascination as he realizes the incredible coincidence. Determined to uncover the origins of the statues, Tintin strides purposefully through the door, clutching his briefcase and coat. His resolve is clear as he vows to find out where they came from this time. Inside a lavishly decorated room, Tintin politely inquires about the source of the statues from an elderly man. The man hesitates, seemingly struggling to recall who delivered the peculiar items. After some effort, Tintin finally obtains an address and sets off with Snowy, eager to visit Mr. Balthazar on Lamb's Lane. With the destination not far, they hurry to continue their quest. Tintin arrives at a building marked J. Balthazar and confidently declares to Snowy, "This is it." A man in a bowler hat walks past them, carrying a briefcase, as they prepare to enter. With Snowy close behind, Tintin steps into the building, following a sign that points to offices and workshops. Finally, Tintin reaches a door labeled offices and workshops and pauses, saying, "Here we are." He grips his suitcase tightly, ready to face whatever awaits inside. Tintin stumbles into a busy workshop filled with red statues, catching the attention of a pipe-smoking man and a sculptor at work. Snowy scuttles beside him as Tintin regains his composure, his eyes scanning the room for answers. Approaching the man in the lab coat, Tintin inquires, "Are you Mr. Balthazar, brother of the sculptor?" The man confirms his identity, curious about Tintin's intentions. Tintin asks about the origin of a particular model, and Balthazar explains it was found among his late brother's belongings. The revelation piques Tintin's interest as Balthazar wonders aloud about Tintin's curiosity. Tintin, visibly anxious, asks Balthazar if he still has the original item. His determination is apparent as he seeks to uncover more about the model's past. Balthazar reveals that someone else inquired about the same item just days ago, and he no longer has it, having sold it. However, he offers a glimmer of hope by providing the buyer's address to Tintin. With newfound excitement, Tintin shares the buyer's identity, Samuel Goldbar, with Snowy, expressing confidence in their quest. He believes they are on the verge of discovering the real treasure as they rush forward. Tintin arrives at the grand gates of Samuel Goldbar's residence, eager to speak with the elusive figure. However, the butler informs him that Mr. Goldbar is not at home, leaving Tintin momentarily at a loss. Undeterred, Tintin insists on waiting inside, brushing aside the butler's hesitant objections. Snowy trots beside him as they enter the lavishly decorated hallway, determined to bide their time. The butler warns Tintin of a potentially long wait, but Tintin remains unfazed, assuring him that he has plenty of time. His resolve is unwavering as he settles in, ready to wait as long as it takes for Goldbar's return. The butler informs Tintin that Mr. Goldbar has left for America, leaving him momentarily stunned. Tintin's expression shows his surprise as he processes the unexpected news. Quickly regaining his composure, Tintin listens as the butler mentions the SS Washington, suggesting he might catch Goldbar if he hurries. Tintin, with Snowy at his side, dashes out with urgency, clutching his belongings. Racing through the streets, Tintin laments that Goldbar took the precious item with him, cursing his luck. Determined, he sprints ahead, with Snowy energetically keeping pace beside him. Arriving at the bustling dock, Tintin breathlessly inquires about the SS Washington, clutching his suitcase tightly while Snowy stands alert by his side. The dock worker, towering over Tintin, listens intently as he stammers out his question. The dock worker points towards the distant horizon where the SS Washington is already a speck on the ocean, informing Tintin that the ship had departed an hour ago. Tintin's heart sinks as he processes the disappointing news, realizing his chase had been in vain. Noticing Tintin's distress, the dock worker offers a glimmer of hope, suggesting he might catch the ship by hitching a ride from a nearby airbase. Tintin's spirits lift slightly as he considers this new possibility, determination flickering back into his eyes. Tintin dashes along the bustling dockside with Snowy at his heels, clutching his belongings and casting anxious glances toward the departing ship. His heart pounds in his chest as he races against time, determined not to be left behind. Reaching the airbase, Tintin walks through open gate, scanning the area for any signs of assistance. Snowy bounds beside him, both driven by the hope of finding a way to catch the ship in time. Tintin eagerly approaches a pilot, explaining his need to catch the Washington. The pilot considers for a moment before mentioning a plane heading out to deliver mail, offering a flicker of hope to Tintin's quest. The majestic ship, Washington, cuts through the waves, its smoke trailing like a banner of progress across the sky. A ship officer strides along the deck, ringing a bell and announcing the first service for lunch, his voice carrying over the ocean's rhythm. Passengers begin moving toward the dining area. Meanwhile, a bright yellow seaplane roars to life, its engines propelling it across the water with determined speed. The seaplane soars through the sky, its powerful engines leaving a trail above the churning waters below. Meanwhile, Alonzo and Ramon in trench coats spot an opportunity as Goldbar leaves for lunch, whispering about seizing their chance. Their eyes follow his retreating figure, plotting their next move. With Goldbar out of sight, Alonso skillfully picks the lock of cabin 82 while Ramon keeps a cautious watch. Inside the dimly lit room, Alonso rummages through a suitcase as his partner anxiously sifts through papers in a suitcase. With a triumphant shout, the man in the trench coat holds up a small red figurine, causing his partner to look on in surprise and excitement. The discovery seems to be exactly what they'd been hoping to find. Meanwhile, outside on the deck, two officers gaze at the sky as a bright yellow plane approaches, carrying the day's mail. Inside the cabin, Alonso and Ramon frantically search through a red statue, their faces etched with worry as they ponder the missing diamond. One insists it must be hidden within, gripping the artifact tightly as desperation mounts. Meanwhile, the yellow plane lands gracefully on the water, its engines humming as it schemes the waves. The serene arrival contrasts with the turmoil inside, as the plane begins to taxi towards the waiting ship. The plane docks beside the large ship, where a crew member stands ready to unload the mail. As black smoke billows from the ship's funnel, the calmness of the docking belies the tension of the ongoing search for the diamond. Alonso and Ramon exchange worried glances as Ramon suggests they take the carved figure to their cabin for a thorough inspection. Meanwhile, Tintin, with Snowy by his side, is on a small boat heading towards the ship. The boat rocks gently on the waves, and the crew rows steadily, each stroke bringing them closer to their destination. A vigilant captain peers over the rail of the ship, his gaze falling on the approaching boat. He announces the presence of a passenger. Tintin approaches the captain with urgency, requesting to speak with a passenger named Mr. Goldbar. The captain directs him to the first-class dining room, adding a touch of formality to the tense situation. Tintin dashes across the deck with Snowy at his heels, hoping he's arrived in time. His determination is mirrored in his quick pace as they make a beeline for the dining room. Bursting through the door, Tintin's sudden entrance startles the two men inside, who react with surprise and alarm. Alonso of them calls out his name, indicating an unexpected recognition amidst the brewing confrontation. Tintin commands Alonso and Ramon to put their hands up, his voice firm as he holds a gun, while Snowy stands alert beside him. Both caught off guard, comply quickly with raised hands dropping the fetish. As the fetish breaks from the fall, a small object drops to the floor. Tintin's eyes widen as a gleaming diamond rolls onto the wooden boards, bringing the standoff to a stunned halt. The urgency of the moment escalates as the diamond skitters dangerously close to the edge of the ship. Tintin, joined by the men, lunges forward in a desperate attempt to stop the precious gem from tumbling into the sea. Tintin and his companions stretch out over the ship's railing, their fingers just grazing the elusive diamond as it slips further away, disappearing into the abyss below. The loss hangs heavily as their hats tumble off, unnoticed in their frantic scramble. The tension on deck erupts as Alonso, clutching Tintin's collar, blames him furiously for the loss, his voice rising above the chaos. Tintin, pinned against the railing, struggles to defend himself amidst the heated confrontation, while Snowy watches anxiously from the side. Nearby, a sailor hears the commotion and rushes over, startled by the cries and the sound of a struggle breaking out. His alarm echoes across the deck, drawing attention to the unfolding drama. Alonso and Ramon plummet from the ship, entangled with Tintin, their expressions a mix of shock and determination as they brace for impact. The sea below looms closer, its surface ready to embrace their descent. A tremendous splash erupts as the trio hits the water, sending waves crashing upward. From the deck above, a sailor races along the railing, his attention captured by the dramatic scene below. Alarmed, a captain turns sharply as the sailor shouts the news, his face a picture of disbelief. 3 men overboard, sir, echoes in his ears, marking the urgency of the situation. Tintin, Alonso, and Ramon tumble through the churning water, their limbs entangled in a desperate attempt to stay afloat. The urgency of their situation is etched on their faces as the water threatens to engulf them. Above them, sailors frantically throw a lifebuoy into the turbulent sea, the rope uncoiling swiftly as it hits the water with a splash. Their shouts mingle with the wind, urging the trio to grab hold and fight against the relentless waves. On the deck, a concerned bystander points out the dire predicament, mentioning the 3 men overboard. His voice carries a mix of worry and disbelief, echoing the urgency of the rescue effort underway. Amidst the chaos, a bystander urgently points out the rescue team pulling someone from the water, their desperation mirrored in the faces around them. The crowd watches with bated breath, hoping for a sign of life. In the churning waters, uniformed rescuers lean over the edge of their boat, struggling to haul Tintin's limp form to safety. Their synchronized efforts reflect the dire need to save him from the clutches of the sea. Beneath the waves, Alonso and Ramon are entangled in a desperate embrace, their coats swirling around them like seaweed. Tintin is pulled from the cold embrace of the sea, his soaked form shivering as 2 sailors support him. Snowy barks energetically as a ship's officer looks on with concern. Wrapped in a warm blanket, Tintin anxiously inquires about Alonso and Ramon, his voice trembling. The officer regretfully informs him that the others have sunk straight down. In a surreal twist, Alonso and Ramon find themselves grappled by devilish creatures, their expressions a mix of surprise and determination. The bizarre figures with red wings pull at them, adding to the chaos of their unexpected predicament. Tintin, wrapped in a red cloak, stands bewildered as a naval officer exclaims in distress over a missing fetish. Snowy looks up curiously, sharing Tintin's confusion about the unfolding situation. Tintin tries to apologize to a man named Mr. Goldbar, who is kneeling on the floor, examining the damaged fetish with a perplexed expression. Tintin, hoping to explain, gestures earnestly with an air of sincerity. As Tintin reveals that the fetish is stolen property, Mr. Goldbar's eyes widen in shock, and he stammers in disbelief. Tintin's firm words leave Mr. Goldbar grappling with the unexpected revelation that upends his understanding. Tintin, speaking with conviction, reassures Mr. Goldbar that he knows where the fetish was purchased and believes the seller acted in good faith. Mr. Goldbar, still processing the situation, walks beside Tintin, clutching the wooden pieces tightly. Seated at a table, Mr. Goldbar expresses his willingness to return the fetish, asking Tintin to ensure it is restored to the museum. Tintin nods in agreement, understanding the importance of returning the artifact to its rightful place. With determination, Tintin and Snowy make their way to the museum, carrying the precious fetish in a yellow box. The imposing entrance of the museum looms ahead, promising resolution as they approach. Tintin, clutching the yellow box protectively, stands before a museum guard, politely asking to speak with the director as Snowy looks on attentively. The guard nods, recognizing the importance of Tintin's request. Relieved, Tintin steps out of the museum with Snowy, announcing with a grin that they can finally enjoy a well-deserved rest, tipping his hat with a flourish. Snowy barks joyfully, echoing Tintin's sentiment as they leave their adventure behind. Inside the museum, a janitor hums operatically while mopping the floor, his voice resonating around the silent hall. The Arambea fetish stands imposingly on display, its presence a reminder of the journey Tintin and Snowy have just completed. Thanks for watching Comic Yahud. Like, subscribe, and catch you in the next story.